Good morning, sir. Good morning, classmate. Our topic is all about the Module 17, Socio-Emotional Development of the Preschooler. According to Gary L. Landreth, toys are children's words and play is their language. Learning outcomes. First, explain Erickson's crisis of early childhood, initiative versus guilt. Second, discuss how children develop gender identity. Third, explain the development of the preschooler's sense of self and self-esteem. Fourth, describe the stages of play and how it impacts socio-emotional development. Lastly, discuss the different caregiving style and their effects of preschooler. I- Introduction. Socio-emotional development. Socio-emotional development is crucial in the preschool years. We hear a lot of parents and teachers and preschool administrators say that attending preschool is more socialization than for formal academic learning. During preschool years, children learn about their ever-widening environment. Preschoolers now discover their new rules outside their home. They become interested to assert themselves as they relate with other people. A lot of very important social skills they will learn during the preschool years will help them throughout life as adults. Big ideas on preschooler socio-emotional development. Number 1. The development of initiative is crucial to the preschooler. Number 2. A healthy self-concept is needed for preschoolers to interact with others. Number 3. Environmental factors influence gender identity in young children. Number 4. Preschoolers' social development is shown through the stages of play. Number 5. The caregiving styles of parents and teachers affect the preschooler's socio-emotional development. Lastly, preschoolers are interested in building friendships. Preschoolers' initiative. Erickson's view of initiative aptly portrays the emotional and social changes that happen during the preschool years. As discussed in Module 7, preschoolers deal with the psychological conflict of initiative versus guilt. Erickson believed that healthy preschoolers develop initiative, the tendency of preschoolers to want to take action and assert themselves. They will yearn to create, invent, pretend, take risks, and engage in lively and imaginative activities with peers. When parents, teachers, and other adults support these attempts and provide a stimulating environment, the preschooler's sense of initiative will grow. On the other hand, if the adults show overprotection, extreme restriction, and criticisms, the preschooler will develop guilt. Every place becomes a playground to explore, every single thing an interesting piece to tinker with. Adults sometimes get exasperated over this behavior and begin to see the preschooler as naughty or makulit. Some parents and teachers then become overly restrictive, resorting to threats, intimidation, and other scary tactics that disrespect the preschooler just to establish control. Consequently, the child may develop excessive guilt, although a good amount of guilt helps in making children take responsibility for the behavior. Excessive guilt hampers emotional growth. Preschoolers who are always punished and criticized end up constructing a view of themselves as being salbahe, bobo, or even walang kwenta. This is really sad because childhood years should be happy years. One poster says, "You don't have to hit to hurt." The message emphasizes that even the things we say and the way we deal with preschoolers can already hurt them at this vulnerable stage. The key thing is to remember is to apply judicious permissiveness. This involves setting realistic boundaries that keep preschoolers safe and respectful of self and others, while allowing them greater opportunity to explore, take, take risks, and to engage in creative processes. Preschoolers will develop a healthy sense of initiative in an affirming, encouraging, and stimulating environment. Self-concept and the preschooler. By the end of the toddlerhood, preschoolers come out with a clear sense that they are separate and distinct person. With their ability to make representations, they can now think and reflect about themselves. Self-concept refers to the way One sees himself, a general view about one's abilities, strengths, and weaknesses. An important aspect of self-concept is self-esteem, which specifically refers to one's judgments about one's worth. Environmental factors and gender in preschoolers' socio-emotional development. As the preschoolers' ability to create schemas develop, they become capable of gender typing, the process of forming gender rules, gender ba- gender-based preferences, and behaviors accepted by society. They came to form gender stereotypes. Preschoolers begin to associate certain things like toys, tools, games, clothes, jobs, colors, or even actions or behaviors as being only for boys or only for girls. Gender typing and gender identity are influenced by environmental factors such as the family, teachers, peers, and the mass media. This is where Bronfenbrenner's model comes into play. Parents also expect their children to play with toys that are right for their gender. The expectations of other people in the preschoolers' lives also influence their gender schema. This includes their relatives, teachers, classmates, and other playmates. Preschool teachers should think thoroughly on how to present notions of what boys and girls can do, especially in the discussion about occupations or community helpers. So here are the Parten stages of play. Mildred Parten in the 1930s did a study on children's play behavior which led to Parten stages of play. Since then, numerous studies have followed using these stages as framework. The stages describe the play development of children and the gradual increase of social interaction as they go through these stages. It begins with the very young children's unoccupied stage, then solitary play, then parallel play, associate and cooperative play. Play becomes an important venue for the child's development of social skills like entering or joining a play station, taking turns sharing, helping, saying sorry, and working together. Play is indeed the child's major business. First is the unoccupied. The child appears not to be playing but directs his attention in anything that interests him. Second, onlooker. The child spends time watching others play. He may talk to them but does not enter into play with them. Number Number 3, solitary play. The child starts to play on his own. He seems not to notice other children playing nearby. Next is parallel play. The child plays with toys similar to those near him, but only plays beside and not with them. No interaction takes place. Next is associative play. The child plays with others. There is interaction among them, but no task assignment, rules, and organizations are agreed upon. Lastly, is cooperative. The child plays with others bound by some agreed upon rules and rules. The goal is maybe to make something play a game or act out something. Friendships in preschool. As they continue to grow, preschoolers become interested in having friends. This should be encouraged in the preschool years as friendships benefit the preschoolers' development by providing stimulation, assistance, companionship, social and comparison, and affection, according to Kostalnik 2010. Through friendships, preschoolers are able to practice different social roles like being a leader, a follower, someone who takes risks, and someone who helps out and comforts. Friendships are very important because they provide added sense of belongingness and security. And caregiving styles. Caregiving styles affect the social, emotional development of the children. Caregivers here refer to both parents and teachers and even other adults that care for the child. Baumrind gave a model that describes the different types of caregiving styles. Decades later, she identified varying degrees of demandingness and responsiveness as determinants of four styles of caregiving: responsiveness and demandingness. Responsiveness refers to caregiver behaviors that pertain to expression of affection and communication. It refers to how warm, caring, and respectful the adult is to the child. Demandingness refers to the level of control and expectations. This involves discipline and confrontation strategies. Boomerang's caregiving styles and their effect on children. We have here a table that shows the Boomerang's caregiving styles and their effects on children. The first column is caregiving style, the second column is the description, and the third column is the effect on the preschooler. So number one caregiving style is the authoritative, high demandingness, and high responsiveness. Description: expect behavior appropriate to the age of the child, maintain reasonable and fair limits, closely monitor the activities of the child, warm and nurturing, have realistic expectations of the child. And the effect are: makes the preschoolers feel safe and secure, teaches the child to take responsibility for his/her actions. The next caregiving style is authoritative, high demandingness, and high responsiveness. Description: communicate messages in a kind, firm, and consistent manner. Discipline approach focuses more on teaching than punishing. Set subjective or unreasonable limit. Communicate messages. Strive to have strong psychological control, punishment, sarcasm, withdrawal of love, and threats. Not able to teach children a better way to behave. Effect on preschooler: develop good self-control, develops a realistic view of oneself, builds the children's capacity for empathy, lead to aggressive behavior of the child, brings about poor self-control. The next caregiving style is the authoritarian, high demandingness. Description: permit the preschoolers to regulate their own behavior and make their own decisions even when preschoolers are not yet ready to do so. Do not set rules or very few, if any. Do not demand good behavior or task accomplishment. May lack confidence in their ability to influence the children. May lack confidence in their ability to influence the child. May be disorganized or ineffective in managing the family and household or class. Shows undermining, indifferent, and rejecting action towards the child. Has little commitment to the rules as parents, caregivers. May be depressed or overburdened by many concerns like poverty, marital problems, or absence of support from others. Effect on preschooler: has difficulty controlling his/her impulses, tends to be dependent, tends to be demanding of their caregivers, tends not to persist or easily gives up on a task, does not easily follow, may be rebellious, does not handle frustration well, has inadequate emotional control, difficulties in school performance. When parents' behavior is to the extreme, or if child experiences this style early, the child may have attachment problems, delayed cognitive development, poor social and emotional skills, delinquent behavior later in adolescence. That's all. Thank you.